November 30th is when Lua Prey drops, and with it, it brings few cool things. For one, a new warframe, or a warframe, and a new game mode, which is a survival but with a twist, and a new Nightwave, bunch of skins, and hopefully some augments. But I want to focus the most of this video on the new game mode, Conjunction Survival. DE is mixing some of its old content of attempting to make Necromechs usable in general tilesets with some new things like Trax units, and adding randomness to it with some zones that give some random buffs. And it's advertised as an endurance mode, but I cannot help but think of some pitfalls of that. One is a power level and scalability of arc guns. It's awful. A lot of firearms received an update that added arcane slots to them, as well as galvanized mods that basically reworked a lot of built-ins. Nothing for arc guns though. I assume that's going to happen whenever the module Arcwing update drops, but it sounds like it's just about time to get that out. Because why would anyone in their right mind play with weapons that are orders of magnitude worse than anything else you can fit in your primary or secondary slot? And if we are forced to do it with a Necromech, can you even endure much with that? So I sincerely hope that update brings some improvements to arc guns, the same or a similar way to escalate damage with them. The other question I have is tied to something Rebecca mentioned on a dev stream. Every now and then, Trax unit will spawn somewhere on the tile, not close to the player, and you will have to travel there to get rid of it, or it will wreck your life support. Any seasoned warframe player knows that spawns are a very, very intricate thing, and many players may even know that in some missions players have to sit in specific places in order to make spawns happen as they should. But to those who don't know what I'm talking about, here's a short briefing on the subject. As we know, Warframe puts together tile sets from pieces. It's a random combination for every mission. That introduces obstacles in creating fluent enemy spawns that are not such that enemies appear out of thin air in front of players, but are also not too far, so the game feels not engaging. So what happens is that spawns are optimized for the area that you're in, and once you travel to another room that's outside of that general area, spawns completely break. Because the game cannot spawn more enemies in a new place as those old enemies are still behind you chasing you, that can lead to a weird and sometimes long transition period before spawns start working properly for that new area that you chose to occupy. And that can make you wait for a bit, which may or may not be too much in such survival mission where Trax unit is supposedly going to drain your life support 50% faster. Moving from one area to another can dip it even more than that, so we'll have to wait and see how DE plans to solve that. Those are some of my main concerns about this update. Like, we know it's a filler update, because DE cannot deliver the Veery however many bloody years after its first showing, but it would suck if DE completely treats it as a filler and just drops it without solving those issues. As for the Veery, I feel like delaying the Veery even further definitely took all the wind out of sails of any hype that was around that. To give DE some props, there's a lot of restructuring inside, but it's not like that restructuring started yesterday or at the last TennoCon. It's been long in the making. Just with this, I sincerely have doubts that the Veery can live up to the hype. Whatever DE delivers will be seen as worse than it actually is. Weird. I thought DE learned a thing or two after overplaying the hype card at that TennoCon where they showcased a bunch of stuff, Fortuna, Railjack, the Veery, and whatever else was there. Then took ages to deliver it all. Some things are yet to be delivered. Reb's PR response was that they want the Veery to be perfect. One would think that she knew perfect does not exist, and for purposes of PR, even broken Duviri would have been better than no Duviri. But I digress. Their choices, their justifications. For all we know, Steve could have deleted half of it by accident. Wouldn't be the first time. Warframe, named Varuna, that's coming with the update, sounds fun, and I can't wait to try her out. Different modes you can choose sound like she can be one of the more flexible frames, which is definitely a welcome trait in my book. As negative as this video might sound, I am looking forward to playing this update. There's certainly potential for it to be fun. I wanted to do a Necromech video to cover the build, but there's a chance that update changes how the build looks, or even entire loadout. So I'll be doing that right after the update drops. Subscribe if you want to see that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.